Okay, so in this lesson, we're going to go through expanding brackets, our learning intentions to understand that the distributive law can be used to expand brackets, to be able to expand brackets using the distributive law, to be able to use expansion together with combining like terms to simplify expressions. Now, before we launch into learning about the distributive law, I want to go through a little bit of a introductory activity. So we're going to build our understanding by investigating rectangle areas. So this question here says, write two equivalent expressions for the area of the rectangle shown, only one of which includes brackets. So that means we're going to be creating two expressions, so two expressions that represents the area of this rectangle, and only one of those expressions is going to include brackets. So the first one we're going to do is we're going to treat this as one area, so A1, and we're going to treat this as another area, A2. So we're just breaking up this rectangle into two parts, and we can find the entire area by simply adding them together. So I'm calling them A1 and A2. To find the area of A1, I'm simply going to say, well, area is equal to length times width. So that means 2 times 5 is going to be 10. So I'm going 2 times 5, and that's going to be equal to 10. And then I'm going to plus onto that the area of this side right here, so the A2 area. Now I know that this here is going to be 2 because this length is going to be the same as this length, and 2 times x is the same as 2x. And I'm going to plus those together as well. So this here represents one expression that represents the area of this entire thing. I'm just plussing together those two separate areas. The other way to write down an area that represents this entire rectangle is, instead of breaking up it into separate portions, is to consider the whole thing at once. So here I'm going to go, my area is equal to the width times the length. My width is going to be 2, so I put a 2 here, and I'm going to multiply that by the length of this thing. Now this is where we have to be careful. What would we say the length is here? Well, we have this 5 section right here, and we have this x section right here. So that means the entire length of this thing is going to be 5 plus x. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put 5 plus x. Now we have to be also careful here. We also have to put in brackets here because we're going the width times the entire length. If we didn't have the brackets, what we would end up doing, according to the rules of BIDMAS, is 2 times 5 first, but we don't want to do that. We want to go 2 times the entire length. And remember, in algebra, we don't like putting in that multiplication sign. So we would end up just writing it like this. Perfect. So we have discovered two equivalent expressions that represent the area here, and they equal each other because they're equivalent. And in this lesson, we're going to be learning more about these as we go along. So let's continue to build up our understanding by considering brackets some more. So here it says the expression 3a plus 2 can be written as a plus 2 plus a plus 2 plus a plus 2. Simplify this expression by collecting like terms. So we've been given 3a plus 2. Now we know that there's an invisible multiplication sign there. So what we're being asked to do here is simply say, well, I have 3 lots of a plus 2. So this means I have 3 lots of a plus 2. So that means I have a plus 2 plus a plus 2 plus a plus 2. It's now asking me to simplify this by collecting like terms. Okay, so I have a here, I have a here, and I have a here. So I have 3 a's, and if I was to collect those all together, I could just say that there are 3 a's. I also have 2, 2, and 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So that means I have plus 6 here. So what we've just discovered is that 3a plus 2 is equal to 3a plus 6. So this is very important. We'll be coming back to that very soon. But this statement right here is a very important one. And I actually might just move this down a little bit using the power of technology. Let me just move this down like there. Perfect. Okay, we'll come back to that. I just want to go through this one as well. So this is asking us to do the same thing, but now we've been given 2 4a plus 2b. So we know that we have this 4a plus 2b. We know there's an invisible multiplication sign there, which is telling us we have 2 lots of this right here. So that means I have 4a plus 2b plus 4a plus 2b. So I have two lots of that, so that's why I've written it twice. We're now going to gather together the like terms. So for a, it's 4a plus 4a, which is equal to 8a. And then I can gather together my other one. So there's going to be plus 2b plus 2b, which is going to be equal to 4b. So I'm going to get plus 4b here. So that means 2 times 4a plus 2b is going to be equal to this. Perfect. Now, what we're going to be discussing in this lesson is a more efficient way of going from, let me grab a pen here, let's grab another color, a more efficient way of going from this one to this one. So a more efficient way of going from this to this. So how can we do that? Because I think you would agree with me, writing out all the terms like this is pretty cumbersome. And can you imagine if this number was like 8 or something? We would be there all day writing them out. So is there a more efficient way to go about this? And there absolutely is. So hopefully what you noticed here is that when we said, we have two lots of 4a plus 2b, what I was saying is, we have two lots of 4a and we have two lots of 2b. So in other words, what we were doing was going to go 2 times 4a. 2 times 4a is 8a. And we're going 2 times 2b. 2 times 2b is 4b. So to up here, we're going 3 times a is 3a, and 3 times 2 is 6. That's what we were doing. And this is called the distributive law. So let's come down here now and learn more about this distributive law. The distributive law. To eliminate brackets, you can use the distributive law, which states that, and as you can see, we're going a times b, which is ab, plussing that with a times c, which is ac. All right, the process of removing brackets using the distributive law is called expansion. When expanding, every term inside the brackets must be multiplied by the term outside the brackets. So here we have 3a plus 2 and 4a plus 2b. So that's what we had up here and up here. And what we're now going to do is use our distributive law to answer these. So we're going to go 3 times a and 3 times 2. And every time you see the word expand, I want to make sure that you put in these little lines because they're really going to help. So we're going 3 times a plus 3 times 2. 3 times 2. This is going to be 3a plus 6. Over here, we're going 2 times 4a, 2 times 2b. So make sure you put in those lines. 2 times 4a plus 2 times 2b. So that's going to be equal to 8a plus 4b. And as you can see, these two expressions that we have found are what we found up here. And I think you would agree with me that this is a more efficient way of going about it than what we did up here. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's come here now. So these are the type of questions you're going to face in your textbook and then later on in the test as well. So it says expand the following expressions. Remember, the first thing you're going to do here is draw in your lines like that. So this is saying 4 times x. Now, if you wanted to, you could quickly just go, well, 4 times x, sorry, that's a 5. So 5 times x is 5x. Then 5 times 3 is 15. And just like that, you've got your answer. If you wanted to go a bit slower, you could go 5 times x plus 5 times 3. And then from there, you're going to there. But I think you would agree that it's pretty easy just to go straight to there. But again, if you were feeling not too confident with it, you could just go, all right, I'm going here to here, here to here. This is 8 times a, 8 times a. And then here, this is going to be 8 times, now, this is negative 4, negative 4. So this is going to be 8a plus, this is going to be negative 32, which means I'm going to get 8a minus 32. That is going to be my answer. This was my answer over here. Okay, let's go again, but this time I want to do it a little bit quicker. This time I just want you to do it in your head. I want you to go negative 3 times 5a. Well, that's going to be negative 15a. Then I want you to go negative 3 times 2. Well, that's going to be negative 6. And that's your answer. Let's go and do another one. So you're going to go negative 5a times 3p. So that's going to be negative 5 times 3 is 15, then a, then p. Then you're going to go negative 5a times negative 7q. Well, I've got two negatives. I've got this negative and I've got this negative. They're going to cancel out and become positive. Then I'm going to go 5 times 7 is 35. Then I'm going to go a times q is just aq on the end there. And that is going to be my answer. Let's do another one. Here I'm going to go x times 2y, which is going to be 2xy, plus, now I've got x times x. Now x times x is equal to x squared. So that means I'm going to get x squared there. That is going to be my answer. Let's come over here. Here I have 6m times 2k. Well, 6 times 2 is 12. Then I've got m and I've got k. Then I'm going to go 6m times 3m. So it's going to be negative 18m squared. That's going to be my answer. All right, perfect. So hopefully you feel pretty confident with doing those. And you can see that expansion isn't that tricky. You just got to remember to draw in those arrows and do the multiplication correctly. All right, let's continue on. So the next thing we're going to do now is simplify the following by expanding and then collecting like terms. So this first one here, we're going to expand this out. So I'm going to get 3 times 2b, which is going to be 6b, plus 3 times 5 is going to be 15. Then I have this plus 3b on the end. Now I have, let me just do this, I have 6b plus 3b here. Those are like terms, so therefore I can join them together, and that's going to be 9b plus 15. And that is going to be my answer. So there was 2 steps to this. First we expanded, and then we collected the like terms. So let's now move on to the next question here. So again, I'm going to expand this out. Here I've got this first, I've got 12xy plus 7x plus 2 is going to be 7x times 2 is going to be 14x. 7x times negative y is going to be negative 7xy. Now, do I have any like terms here? I absolutely do. I have 12xy minus 7xy. So that's going to be 5xy. 5xy plus 14x. That's going to be my answer. All right, let's keep on going. Now we come down to here. And again, we're going to do some expanding. So we're going to expand this out, then we're going to expand this one out. Negative 6 times 10 is negative 60. Negative 6 times negative 6j is going to be plus 36j. So remember, because you've got a negative here and a negative here, it becomes a positive. Then I'm going to plus onto this. 4 times 10j is going to be 40j. Then 4 times negative 5. 4 times negative 5 is going to be negative 20. So that means what I'm going to end up with here is, let me get my highlighter out just to make sure that we're all on the same page. I have negative 60 and negative 20. When I add those together, I'm going to get negative 80. And then I also have plus 3j plus 40j. And when I added those together, I'm going to end up with plus 76j. So that is going to be my answer there. Let's now move on to our very last one. And as you can see, this one's a little bit different. In this case, we're going to use the distributive law when we're expanding for things with more than 2 terms. And we're just going to go this times this times this. So it's just like going 3 times now. All right, so to do this, we're going to get negative 7a times 2, which is going to be negative 14a. Negative 7a times negative 3b. So this time I have a negative and a negative, which is going to become a positive. And then it's going to be 7 times 3 is 21. Then I have an a and a b. Then I come to my next one. So I'm going to get negative 7a times 4c. So it's going to be negative 28ac. Because I've got an a, I've got a c. 7 times 4 is 28. Perfect. And those are my answers. All right, so that is everything we had to go through. Hopefully you found this useful in going through them, and you just feel a bit more confident in expanding things out. All right, and with that being said, I will see you in the next lesson.